Hi everyone, today we are going to do a 30-minute power yoga workout. So today we're going to get a little bit of our strength on. We're still going to practice breath and flexibility, but the focus will be more on holding less poses, but holding poses a little bit longer to encourage ourselves to find our edge within, building strength, getting a little bit stronger through our poses. So alignment is, since we'll have time in each video to focus on our alignment, and targeting specific muscles. That's what I would like for you to be mindful of within your practice today, is just being mindful of your alignment. If you can stay in a pose longer, if you modify a little bit, that's what I would like for you to, or like to encourage you to do, is more, focusing on that alignment, focusing on being able to breathe and being able to stay in the pose versus going super deep into the pose, but not like, you know, overdoing it. Okay, so today's not necessarily about overdoing it. It's more focused on doing it correctly and being able to stay in that space for a longer period of time. So let's get started. So first we'll start in a seated space on our mat, bringing our breath into the room. It's very important, especially in these situations, or in these different types of classes, that you're really just kind of focused and present. Body awareness to avoid injury is very important. So let's go ahead and just quiet ourselves, quiet our mind, relax, forget about everything else. Even if the puppy is licking your fingers right now or trying to lay on you, try and just ignore that and just draw inward. I'll take about 5 more breaths here before we start to move. A little bit longer, about 3 more breaths. Okay, now gently starting to open your eyes, looking down to the floor past the knees. And actually, if you want to keep those eyes closed, the next couple movements you can do, reducing that stimulus. So inhale, lift the chin, let the back of the head come down, and then shift the chin towards the chest, and then back up, lift up. One more time, chin comes down, and then the chin comes up. And now relaxing shoulders just a little bit more. Let's let that right ear float down. And then shifting to the left. Make sure to get nice long length here. We're not crunching the left side of the neck. We're still kind of lifting through, having a nice long neck. Keeping the shoulders parallel instead of dropping that left shoulder down. Bring the right ear to the right shoulder, left ear to the left shoulder, and then coming neutral. Let's bring hands to heart center. We'll warm up the shoulders. So inhale, lift the hands up, look up. Exhale, hands come down to your heart, chin down. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, chin down. Last time, inhale, lift up, but we'll leave the arms up, and then the right arm comes down. Left arm reaches up a little bit higher, and then we'll side bend. Take one nice, really filling breath here, and exhale it out. Inhale, both arms up. Elbows come forward, round or open up the back, and then the left arm comes down. Reach up really nice and tall with that right arm, and then side bend. come up, hands up, palms together. And exhale, hands come to your heart. Right hand to your left, knee sit up nice and tall, we'll twist. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Take one good breath here. And then sweeping to the other side, right hand to left knee, right hand, or left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twisting in to wring the lungs out. And then come back to center. Now what we'll do is we'll shift forward into tabletop. So coming onto hands and knees. Hands go underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and then the feet just relax back. And we'll just go from side to side, looking over your shoulder to your heels or your toes. Starting to move a little bit, get that blood flowing. Settle into the center, and then we'll move to cat and cow. You'll inhale, lift the chin, tilt the tailbone up high to the sky, arch the belly down towards the floor. And then exhale, chin comes to chest, hips come in, you're pushing the floor away and rounding the spine. Now shift back and forth, inhale as you lift up, and exhale as you arch and round. One more time. Now walking yourself out to a little bit more of a modified plank. We'll stay right here for about 4 breaths. Spread those fingers wide, belly button is pulled in, shoulders are drawn away from the ears. Take a deep breath in, flip your toes, then exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Let your head float between your biceps and rotate your elbows towards the floor. Pressing fingertips into the mat so that we're not shifting all of our weight into the heels of our hands and bothering our wrists. Now, feet are about hip distance apart, toes spread. Pick your toes up off the mat, spread the toes wide, and then replant them down into the mat. And then we'll alternate your knees, bending one knee and then the other, shifting from side to side. And then lowering the knees down to the mat, flipping the toes over and shifting the hips to the heels for child's pose. Coming back to tabletop. And then going back from side to side. One more. And then cat and cow. Walking your hands out, shifting into a modified plank. Relaxing the feet, holding for 5 breaths. And then flipping your toes, deep breath in, and then exhale as you shift the hips up and back. Go ahead and walk that dog for a few breaths while we stay right here. Now from here, we'll lift your right heel up. Keep the toes pointing down towards the floor. Right hip is down. Inhale up a little bit more, and then exhale, step the foot through to frame right between both hands, then lower your knee down. Take the foot nice and flat to the mat, and then walking yourself up, hands rest on that thigh, and then just shift forward, just making sure the knee doesn't come past the toe, and then looking towards the front of the room. We'll reach one arm up high, and then you'll gaze up. Bring the other one to meet the right. Let the shoulders drop down away from the ears. Take a deep breath, reach up a little bit higher, and then exhale, shift forward to the arms coming out in front of you, but you're sitting up tall. Engage the core. We'll pull this right hand back like we're pulling on a bowstring, and then opening the arms up nice and wide. Take a deep breath, gazing past that to the back of the room. And then release that right arm down, lift up, the right leg is probably burning. Exhale, lower the hands down, frame the foot, flip the left toe, come back up to your high lunge, and then we'll head back to downward dog. Right heel lifts up high to the sky, looking back past the left knee, and then lower the foot to the floor. Reshift the weight between both shoulders, again remembering to use your fingertips so that the heels of the hands aren't taking all of the weight. And then your left heel will lift high up, remembering to keep the left hip down, toe pointed towards the floor. Inhale, lift up a little higher. Exhale, step the foot between the hands and then lower the right knee down. Take the top of the foot flat and then walk the hands up to the upper thighs, standing up nice and tall, shifting down a little bit into that hip, and then raising the hands up high to the sky. Look up past the fingertips. And then slowly hinge forward for a modified lightning bolt, reaching the arms out in front of you. Remembering to keep that breath nice and controlled. Left arm pulls back like a bow and then taking it to the back of the room. Arms reaching out in opposite directions. Left arm floats down, lift back up. And exhale, taking the hands down to frame the left foot. Flip the right toes, come up to your high lunge. And then once you feel stable, take the left heel up high to the sky. Lowering it back down. Inhale, bend your knees, peek up to your hands. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. One foot underneath each hip. Knees slightly bent, and then inhale, come up, hands to knees, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. And then sweeping the arms up high, reach up, and then take a tiny little back bend here to lengthen out the front of the hips. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, and then step back to your tabletop. And then we'll go from side to side again. Looking over your right shoulder, over your left. 2 more times. Coming back and then taking 3 cat and cows. Walking the hands out in front of you, finding that modified plank. 1 more breath here. And then flipping the toes over, lifting up to a full plank. Unless modified is where you're at today, try and challenge yourself to come up to full plank. Think about engaging your core, pressing the heels to the back of the room, hands are underneath your shoulders, and you're gazing right past your fingertips. 1 more breath here. And then pushing with the hands, shift the hips up towards the ceiling, looking between the knees, making sure the feet are about hip distance apart. Take a deep breath in here. Right heel lifts up high, 3-leg down dog. Again, keeping that hip rotated down towards the floor, and then stepping through to frame the foot with the hands. Staying in that low lunge. Taking 1 more breath here just to kind of settle into this space. And then walking the hands to the upper thighs, rise up. Left hip is looking towards the front of the room. Arms are going to come down by your side, palms facing in, and then lift up straight, gazing up past your hands. Now we'll come into that lightning bolt, so hinge forward like you're reaching for something, like a ball, and hold. Remember to keep that left heel pressing back to the back of the room so all your weight isn't going into the left foot. And then like a bow, pull that right arm back and twist. Left arm is going to come down to the foot, to the inside arch. Right arm is going to come up high so that you're in side angle. And then the right arm comes down to frame that right foot. Now we're going to head back to downward dog. So taking that heel to the back of the room, lifting it up high, and then lowering it to the floor. Redistributing the weight on both hands, not shifting just on one side. Right heel lifts up high, left hip is down. One more breath here, lift up a little higher and then step through. Exhale, coming into your low lunge. One more breath to get stabilized in this space, and then walking the hands to the upper thighs, rise up. Right hip is forward, tailbone is tilted down, belly button is in, and shoulders are back. Let's lower our hands down by our side, and then lift up through the thumbs, gaze up past the fingertips. Reaching forward for lightning bolt. Staying nice and long and strong. And then pulling like a bow and arrow. Left arm comes back, arms to a nice wide T, looking to the back of the room. Left arm swoops down. Oh, actually, leave that left arm there. Right arm comes down to the inside of the left foot. Left arm goes up high for a twisted side angle. Left arm comes down to frame that foot, and then you'll send that foot to the back of the room, lengthen it out, and then lower it to the mat. Nice deep breath in here. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold it forward, nose to knees. Slowly round up this time, arms coming up last. Once the shoulders have come up all the way, inhale, reach the arms up high, and then we'll add a little bit of length here. Open up the left side body by side bending. Inhale, both arms come up, and then we'll open up the right side of the body, side bend to the other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Now this time we'll step back to plank. We'll find that plank pose, hands right underneath the shoulders, heels stretching to the back of the room, and core is engaged. Now we'll add on here, we're going to get a little bit more strength here. So rolling over onto that right side or left side, finding a side plank. Right arm comes up, look up past the fingertips, lifting up through the right hip so that left hip isn't sagging down. And then with control, rotating over so both hands are underneath your shoulders, right, and then going over to the right side. Again, moving nice, slow, and control so that your form is perfect for you. And left arm comes down, rotate back into your plank. Stay for one more breath here. And then rolling forward just slightly up onto the tippy toes, you'll bend the elbows, graze the ribs with the elbows, and lower the heart to the floor. Flip the toes over, then come up for a modified up dog or a full up dog. You can come all the way up and lift those thighs up off the floor if you want. And then bending at the hips, shift back, child's pose. Coming back to tabletop, take a deep breath, and side bend to each side 3 times. Come back to center, 3 cat and cows, lift the chin, lower the belly, and arch and round. 2 more. Coming back to table, flip the toes, find downward dog with an exhale, lifting the hips up and back. Head lowers down. Right heel lifts up. Exhale, step it through and rise all the way, finding your crescent warrior. Nice and strong. Find that focus, find your drishti, and just gazing through it. Hinging forward, reaching, lightning bolt. And then drawing that bow and arrow back, right arm goes to the back of the room, nice twist. And then lowering the left hand down to the mat and right arm up, side angle. Right arm comes down to frame the foot. Send the foot to the back of the room and then lower it to the mat, and we'll go and do the other side. Left heel lifts. Step through. Rise for crescent warrior. Nice deep breaths here. You're gazing up towards the ceiling or right out in front of you, depending on where you're at. Reach forward. Draw the left hand to the back of the room. Open up nice and wide. Right hand comes down to the inside of the left foot. Left arm up high, gaze up towards the ceiling. And then the left hand comes down. Step the left foot back. And lower the foot to the floor. Bend in the knees, peek up, exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms up high to the sky and then side bend with an exhale. Each direction, side bend to the right. Inhale up, side bend to your left. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back for plank. Belly button in, shoulders back away from the ears, gaze past the fingertips. Rotate over onto the left side, finding that side plank. Right arm goes up high. And then heading to the other side, right hand, make sure you put it underneath the shoulder. And left arm comes up high. Left arm comes down. Again, reestablish a very nice plank. Hinge up onto the tippy toes, bend the elbows, graze the ribs, lower the heart to the floor, scoop up for up dog. And exhale, child's pose. Coming back up to table, and then finding a seated space in the middle of your mat with your feet out in front of you. Placing the feet hip distance apart, flat on your mat, sitting up nice and tall. Your arms will reach out in front of you. We'll find boat pose. So we'll hinge back with a nice flat back. You'll come back as far as where you start to feel the core engage, and then you'll stop. Take 4 breaths. Inhale, come up. Turn the heart towards the left knee, both hands staying out in front of you, and then all the way to the right. So we'll twist that out. Come back to the middle. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, hinging back again, finding boat pose. Now this time, lift one foot up off the floor, and then the other, arms up. Lower the feet down, tap, lift up. We'll do that 3 times. Tap again, lift up, and tap again. Lift up, and then lower the feet to the floor, come up. Let's take the hands onto the back of the thighs. We'll inhale, lift the heart, draw the elbows back, chin up. And then exhale, arch and round. Inhale, lift up. Now let the knees splay out to the side. Open the heart, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, arch and round. Last time, inhale, lift up. And exhale, slowly lower yourself to laying down. Leave the feet where they are. Actually, walk them up to the bottom, about hip distance apart. Palms come down by either hip. Round your shoulders underneath you so you're opening up that heart, and then press the feet into the floor and the hands evenly as you lift the hips up high. Walk the shoulders underneath you a little bit more, lengthen through the back of the neck, and let the chin gently find the chest. Walk the shoulders out from underneath you, lower the bottom to the floor. Walk the palms of the feet together and let the knees splay out to the side. We're gonna bring this session to a close. Hands can come onto the belly, maybe reaching above your head, maybe they're out to the side. That is totally up to you. Adding a twist here, draw the knees up together, but keep those feet together, heels close to the bottom, arms out to the side in a nice wide T, rolling over into that right hip, stacking one hip on top of the other, and then looking to the left, past the left shoulder. And then the other side, bring the feet back up, reset the hips, and then draw the feet together, let the knees rotate down, right hip on top of left, and looking to the right side of the room, past the fingertips. Coming onto the back, squaring off the hips, tilting the tailbone down towards the heels, bring the right heel up high, take the hand back behind the thigh or the calf, whatever feels comfortable, and then draw the quad up towards the stomach or up the shin or the knee to the heart. Bend the knee, lower the foot down to the floor, left leg goes up high, same thing on the other side. Bend that knee, take the foot flat, send the legs out to the end of the mat, about mat distance apart. Let the feet relax off to the sides, hands come down by your side, and we'll take 5 breaths as we slowly end our session. And rolling over into your right side, using your left hand to slowly help yourself up to a nice seated space, legs cross, sitting nice and tall, hands come to heart center, elbows out to the side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart. I thank you for sharing your practice with me today, and